Most people go to the local pet store to look for a new puppy when they are ready to get a new pet. When these puppies were bred in puppy breeding mills, people tend to neglect all the loving, lonely dogs that are waiting day after day to be adopted at the local pound. 3 years ago, I adopted a pit bull from the Orlando County SPCA, and this was one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life. Many people have negative opinions about dog adoption, place stereotypes and breed restrictions against certain breeds. I'd like to open all of your perspectives on the misconceptions about restricted breed dogs, dog adoption, and dog stereotypes, so that when you are ready to own a pet, you can choose to adopt one from the shelter. As a college student, I found myself lonely when I was uprooted from all of my family and friends when I moved to Orlando to attend UCF. Many of you may have had similar feelings. I now own 2 dogs of my own and have learned so much over the years. I can honestly vouch that there is definitely truth behind the saying that a dog is a man's best friend. Today I would like to inform you all about how dog adoption can be good, why dog breed restrictions and bad stereotypes can be wrong, and to encourage responsible ownership. Some people may believe that dogs from the pound are there for a reason, that no one wants them because they are disobedient, untrainable, or they are vicious. Others may think that because breed restrictions exist to begin with, that there must be some truth behind it. These people may have even been bitten before by a vicious dog who may be a part of the breed restricted dogs, or by a dog who previously lived in the pound, so they are scared for life of large dogs. However, I myself have adopted a pit bull from the Orlando pound, and through responsible ownership, I have raised and nurtured an incredibly obedient and affectionate dog. I previously lived in 2 different apartment complexes who had placed breed restrictions against pit bulls. I honestly told them that all of their rules were bogus, and eventually they allowed my pit bull to live there anyways. But they told me that on paperwork he had to be called a lab. The SPCA believes that it is unreasonable to characterize an entire breed based on the behaviors of animals implicated in attacks on people such as pit bulls, Rottweilers, German Shepherds, and Dobermans, and that the owners should be educated about caring for their pet and should practice behavioral training based on positive reinforcement techniques. Many of you may have heard of the dog whisperer, the renowned dog behavior expert, Cesar Millan. He states that communicating and connecting with our dogs properly through exercise, discipline, and affection is the foundation for training and conditioning a dog to help a dog's overall balance in order to correct and prevent problem behaviors. His countless stories of success just go to show and prove that dog conditioning and retraining a dog is efficient and it works. In a National Geographic article titled "Tips for Dog Lovers," Cesar Millan states that a dog's breed is not his destiny. Choosing the right breed for the owner's energy and lifestyle determines how much commitment can be made to the pet. This just goes to show that a responsible, committed owner can raise an obedient dog despite his breed. Animal Services and the SPCA of Orlando County are 2 agencies who take in pets whose previous owners no longer keep their commitment to take care of their pets. Based on the 2009 and 2010 annual report, the SPCA took in 7,959 dogs that year, and only 36% of them were adopted to a good home, leaving 5,112 lonely dogs still waiting to be adopted that year. When you are ready to own a pet, I hope that you will consider adopting a pet from the shelter instead of paying hundreds of dollars supporting puppy breeding mills. You may find your lifetime companion in one of these 2 places. Another action step we can take is to boycott living in apartment complexes that place breeding restrictions on certain breeds of dogs. If everyone does this and we all voice our opinions, then in time the companies will be forced to reevaluate whether or not all dogs of those restricted breeds are vicious, or if it's just the circumstances where it was bad ownership. Remember to always be gentle, loving, repetitive, and stern while training your pet, because responsible ownership determines whether or not your dog will turn out to be friendly and obedient, or disobedient and vicious. Now that I've told you about how there is no credible evidence behind breed restrictions and stereotyping dogs, how adopting dogs from a shelter can be a good thing, and the best decision of a lifetime for both you and your pet, I hope that I was able to open all of your perspectives on the misconceptions about restricted breeds and dog adoption from the pound. Here are some pictures of a pit bull named Oscar, who used to live in the Orlando pound. He is to this day considered a restricted breed. Oscar is my loving, affectionate, friendly, obedient puppy, my best friend and the love of my life. If this isn't concrete evidence enough that responsible ownership and dog conditioning is the key to a good pet, then I don't know what is. I hope that when you yourself are ready to own a pet, that you take into consideration my personal experiences and the knowledge that I have passed along to you, and make the best decisions for you and your pet.
All right, thanks, Hannah. We are giving Hannah feedback. Melissa is next. Christina is on deck. What good things are we telling Hannah?
I really like your speech because I love dogs so much, so I was actually thinking it would be nice to have a dog in a lot of comedy. So.
Yeah, I really liked your speech also because there's so many animals that need to be adopted out there, so it's really relatable to us, and we should actually do
Your
that.
pictures gave a lot of emotion to your speech at the end. It's just good.
That's what I was going for.
I think you have great eye contact with the audience.
I like how you changed my perspective and stuff about how you have restricted breeds, because it is common knowledge that, Doberman Pinschers are really bad dogs or pit bulls, but it actually shows that it's not all dogs, it's just selected few.
You did have a very conversational tone with no ums or any influences, which was good.
The topic was great. I own a pit bull and Doberman, and everywhere won't let you have them, so it's kind of hard to find somewhere, and people do need to change their attitudes about them.
The manager of my old apartment complex, she actually had a pit bull that played with mine in the tennis court all the time. I called her out on it. I was like, yours is not allowed. So.
Suggestions for Hannah?
Maybe just walk around a little bit more. You kind of stood like right there.
I like quivering eyes when I
Yeah.
At some point when you talk, you started to shift a lot, so when you're trying to find something on your car, you would shift a little bit.
It's a little bit more scary because you did a lot of reading on the car.
I was going to say that you did better working at your posture.
Yeah, and I like seeing how your confidence has increased, and how here you're really bringing up something that you're passionate about, and it shows. I think that's really terrific. You've kept us well on track with good organization. You did a good job in terms of your voice has good energy. There's times where you're reading from your cards a little bit, so be careful. But it's not overly noticeable. So I think you did a good job with that. I like how you're addressing, where you're getting some sources in there, everything from Caesar Milan to exercise, discipline, and affection, to the FCCA and a number of pieces that are in there which are really good. Suggestions of what you've already heard: watch your posture. There's times where you're shifting your weight just a little bit. The more you sit up straight, it's all better when your audience sees you're confident. Okay, anything else for Anna? Okie dokie, thank you, Anna.